From an athlete that squandered his money on a huge collection of tennis shoes to one who kept tigers as pets, some of these sportsmen don't know when to stop. Come with us as we show you the 8 richest athletes that went totally broke. Number 8. Vince Young. Young was a former star quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. He made a great deal of money in his glory days, enough to live on the proverbial easy street. However, barely 7 years after signing a contract with a pro NFL team, Young filed for bankruptcy, to the surprise of many. Maybe not to the surprise of everybody anyway, because people believe that Young earned his right to be broke. He received an enviable $26 million contract with the Titans. But what did he do with the money? He blew it up. He purchased expensive high-ticket items and bought a $176,000 Ferrari when he clearly had no means to pay for it. Young and his wife had assets worth between $500,000 to $1 million, yet they had liabilities between $1 million to $10 million. Sadly, nothing has been heard of him in the National Football League since 2011. Oh well, Young's situation is a lot better than the superboxer who used to be worth over $400 million and then spiraled to rock bottom. Number 7. Mike Tyson. Don't we all know Mike Tyson? That name has undoubtedly become a household name over the years. Iron Mike is one of the biggest names in boxing, the same way his bank account used to be one of the fattest in the boxing scene. With all that money, how come his name made it to the list? Apparently, Tyson didn't only have a love for boxing, he equally had a knack for frivolous spending. From buying a high-end mansion to keeping tigers as pets, his career was affected by multiple issues, including battling with alcohol and drugs. He was equally involved with multiple women and ended up fathering 5 children. He had so much going for him at the time, so it wasn't surprising when he announced that he was broke and destitute in 2003. On the flip side, Tyson claimed he was happy despite being broke. He claimed he was married to a woman he didn't deserve, and above all, he is happy to be given a second chance at life. On a lighter note, luck shone on Tyson again. By 2022, he had made some money again. Maybe not as much as he used to make, but definitely something to go by. While Mike Tyson seems to be doing better, the Golden Boy never recovered till his death. Apparently, most Golden Boys have some connections with brokenness. Number 6. Diego Maradona. Talk about the Golden Boys that rocked the soccer scene in the 1980s. Diego Maradona was literally one of the world's greatest soccer players after playing in 4 World Cups back-to-back for 4 years, then went ahead to eventually win the championship in 1986, with the most controversial goals in the history of soccer. He set a world record transfer fee twice when transferring teams, raking in $5.7 million and $7.5 million respectively. While with Napoli, he earned an annual salary of $3 million and had several endorsement deals with big brands like Hublot, Puma, etc. From all indications, Maradona was steadily getting the bag. The Golden Boy, as he was fondly called, was the real deal. So much so that the Belarusian government gifted him an amphibian tank. Beneath the glitz and glamour, however, Maradona evaded tax for years, and no one knew until the Italian government claimed he owed $50 million in back taxes from his playing days. The discovery wrecked Maradona financially, and he was forced to file bankruptcy, leaving his family, who had hoped to inherit his fortune, distraught after his demise upon discovering he only had $500,000 to his name. It seems not only male athletes hit rock bottom, female athletes do too. Number 5. SHERYL SWOOPES. SHERYL was a highly prolific WNBA player and reportedly earned $50 million at the peak of her professional career with the WNBA. She was literally one of the biggest faces of the WNBA, and she, of course, made an incredible fortune. She won multiple championships, 3 MVPs, 6 All-Star Game appearances, and twice led the WNBA scoring. The most notable of her endorsement deals was with Nike, where she had a signature shoe of her own, eponymously named Nike Air Swoops. So how is it that she filed for bankruptcy and owed $750,000 in 2004? Unfortunately for Swoops, she blew through her fortune as fast as she made it. However, in her defense, Swoops claimed she lost her money through unscrupulous lawyers and agents, bad investments, and getting into debt with the IRS. Eventually, Swoops wound up and had to sell her Olympic medals and her Naismith trophy just to satisfy her creditors. Overspending is not only peculiar to NBA athletes, some NFL athletes have equally suffered a similar fate. Number 4. O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson, aka The Juice, was an NFL player who undoubtedly knew his onions. He dominated the running back position from the late 1960s to the 1980s. His journey to stardom started in his college days when he won the Heisman Trophy in 1968. Subsequently, he set a record as the first player to ever rush for 2,000 yards in a single season, and till today holds the record for the single-season yards per game average at 143.1. By the 1990s, the Juice had made $11 million through playing and endorsement deals like Pioneer Chicken, Dingo Cowbat Boots, Hertz, and Honey Baked Ham. However, his illustrious career went south when he was arrested and charged with the murder of his ex-wife and her boyfriend, Ronald Goldman. Although he was found not guilty in the criminal trial, but was found responsible for the murder in the civil suit and was then ordered to pay compensation and damages that cost $33.5 million. Meanwhile, he had other run-ins with the law after the trial, and he is presently cooling it off in prison, broke. O.J. Simpson isn't the only one who suffered a turn in fate. Number 3. Lenny Dykstra. Dykstra is another spendthrift who also cooled off in prison at some point. This guy here was the man. A hard-nosed personality and fearless game, Dykstra brought it all to the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies during his career. Lenny Dykstra, known as Nails, won several championships, from All-Star to Silver Slugger Award and World Series champion. By 2008, Nails was worth $58 million from playing and endorsement deals. Well, the fortune was never meant to last. Lenny blew up his money in no time. He purchased a mansion for $18.5 million in Thousand Oaks, California. He struggled with drug addiction. He had a couple of failed entrepreneurial ventures, and of course, a mortgage fraud. In 2009, he filed for Chapter 11 of bankruptcy and listed liabilities worth more than $31 million, with only $50,000 of assets, which later led to the foreclosure of his mansion. Lenny didn't only go broke, he also went to jail and spent 3 years in state prison for grand theft. Dykstra might redeem himself after his sentence, but the same can't be said for one of the former most paid NBA players. Number 2. Dennis Rodman. Popularly known for his time with the Chicago Bulls, he is remembered as one of the most expensive, flashy, and distracting players. But now, he is nowhere close to the radar of glitz. At the height of his career, Dennis was one of the 10 most paid NBA players, earning around $27 million. The huge money he made afforded him to splash money on expensive items. In 1996, for example, he got a 2-story home in LA for $825,000. He partied in the house almost every single day. Not just some party, by the way. We're talking insanely expensive parties here. Dennis equally had a knack for expensive rides, from a custom-painted Lamborghini Gallardo to custom-fitted 1996 Porsche 993 TT. That wasn't all that led to the demise of his fortune. In 1997, he kicked a referee in the groin, which earned him 11 game suspensions and a fine that cost him $1 million. By 2012, Dennis Rodman had blown all his money, and later that year, he filed paperwork in court claiming he was broke and could not make his child support and spousal support payments. Dennis's situation is bad, till you hear how Warren Sapp sapped away his fortune. Number 1. Warren Sapp. Sapp's bankruptcy has to be one of the most unforgettable in the history of the NFL. He played as the defensive tackle for Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Oakland Raiders. Warren Sapp made over $75 million during his career. No sooner did Sapp turn into a spendthrift, he splashed his money on everything opulent. He purchased a mansion worth $4.1 million and a $1,200 lion skin rug. His needless spending got the best of him, and by 2012, Sapp had filed for bankruptcy and had to sell his belongings. At the point of bankruptcy, his bank account was like many other people's in the real world, with just a little above $800. It was hard to imagine how Warren reached rock bottom after all he had made throughout his career. Well, that is until you see his huge, expensive tennis shoe collection, among other expensive items found in his house when auctioning his belongings. Yeah, I know money is to be spent, but these guys truly bit off more than they could chew. This isn't the height of it. How about you check the next video for premium fun?